Hey everyone, Kaylee, your friendly neighborhood hairstylist here, and today it's all about the holo. So today we're tackling wearable holographic hairstyles. I say wearable because the last time I did a holographic hairstyle, it was maybe a little less wearable, but I realized that holographic tinsel could be really great in a hairstyle, so I decided to go ahead and make some wearable versions using holographic tinsel. It's my two biggest loves come together. It's me as a braidaholic and me as a holosexual. I mean, if you're not as much into the holo on a specific day, you can leave the tinsel out and all these hairstyles will still look super cool as is. So that being said, let's get into it. Before we talk hairstyles, let's talk about how to procure the holo. The first one is from Party City. You go down the kids aisle and you go to the Princess Party section and pick up one of these for $1. It's a hair clip with holo on it. You just pull off the bow and it's ready to use. It's very sparkly silver holo. My next recommendation is to check out fly fishing materials because you can get a spool of holographic tinsel. This is 9 yards long for $2. And this comes in any color in the rainbow. So you can really get as crazy and fun as you want on a budget. All right, that's where you can get the goods. Let's talk about how to put them in your hair. All right, for our first hairstyle, I thought we'd do something easy. This is actually a take on Shane Mitchell's braids from last year, which I did a tutorial on last year as well. But this year, we're gonna make it holo. You can put as many braids as you want wherever you want, but I'm gonna do a braid here, here, and then behind my ear on each side. Let's go ahead and roll that clip. Now that our braids are in, we're gonna wrap them up with holo. If you buy the holo on a roll, you want to measure it to be the length of your hair. So that's what I did, went from the root to the end, and then I cut a bunch of strands to that length. And then you can knot one side, and you have this nice little extension that you can braid into your hair. So I'm just gonna put a bobby pin through it and pin that underneath the braid. Split your holo piece of hair into two, and that way you have 3 sections, the braid, holo 1 and holo 2, and you're gonna braid normally all the way down, literally like we just did, but this time with holo. And I'm gonna go ahead and slide the bobby pin off and braid as far as I want to, and then secure it with an elastic. And then you can take the bobby pin out of the top, and that is our holo wrapped braid. You just have 3 more braids to cover in holo. So there's your holo wrapped braids. I love this. I actually like it more than the original. I love that it's easy and quick. It kind of reminds me of old school hair wraps, but like so much better, and I'm here for it. And now, in honor of my previous holographic video, let's do a high ponytail. For this, you're gonna want some long strands of holo. So I have 6 strands at 10 feet long, and on each side, I have wrapped it up with tape to keep the holo from just dispersing everywhere. It's kind of like, I don't know, a holo shoelace. First things first, you're gonna put your hair into a very high ponytail. I think a hairstyle like this would be really good on someone with hair like Christine of Simply Nailogical, queen of all things holo, because super duper long hair just makes this hairstyle so much more dramatic. And once everything's in place, you can secure it with an elastic. Now pretend like you're a stage mom at a child's beauty pageant and hairspray the base of that ponytail like crazy. Now we're gonna take a small piece of hair from the ponytail and wrap it around the hair elastic so that we can cover it up. And now you're just gonna braid the hair in the ponytail all the way to the end and secure it with an elastic. And you guessed it, now we're gonna wrap it up with holo. So I'm gonna fold my massive holo shoelace in half and put a bobby pin through the middle and bobby pin it into the base of my ponytail. So from here, you can either wrap it or you can braid it with the hair like we did in the last hairstyle. Totally up to you. I'm just gonna wrap mine around because I find that really nice and easy, especially when you're dealing with such long strands. And then I'm gonna use a hair elastic to hold it in place. So there's our holo ponytail. This thing is great. I feel like a pop star, and also my hair could double as a weapon if needed. Moving on, we have this holo half updo. First thing you're gonna do is pick up the top of your hair like you normally would for a half updo and put it in an elastic. And then we're just gonna wrap that ponytail into a bun. And now we get to add in the holo braid. So for this one, you can either use your Party City clip or some pre-cut pieces of holo. I'm gonna start off with one of the pre-cut pieces on a bobby pin and bobby pin it up underneath the hair that we swept back. Then split the holo into 2 and grab some hair underneath it. Then grab one more section of just hair, and that's the 3 sections for your braid. And once you get to the end, you can secure it with an elastic. So I'm just gonna pull the braid apart and massage a little and continue doing that all the way up the braid. Gets you that kind of distressed look, but it also makes sure that the hollow is visible. And there you go, that's our first braid. Now we're just gonna repeat that 2 more times, and I'm gonna show you how to do it if you have the Party City clip. So of course, the first order of business is to remove the bow, and then you're ready to clip this into the hair. I'm just gonna go ahead and clip it up and underneath the bun. Then you continue on just like we did with the first braid. And now just one more. And there's your holo half updo. I think this one will be particularly fun with multiple colors of holo or different kinds of braids mixed all together. And now we have a holographic corset braid, which was inspired by Lady Gaga's hair at the Grammys. The first thing we have are 2 French lace braids that go back at an angle. You're gonna start with a small piece of hair right here at the corner of your hairline in your part, and then you're gonna start braiding normally. Because this is a lace braid, we're only adding in hair from the side next to our face. So whenever you get to this side, you can pick up your new hair and put it with your braiding section and braid over. But then on the other side, you just have to braid normally. And again, on this side, add in some new hair. And on the opposite side, braid normally. And you're gonna continue braiding back at an angle until all the hair over your ear is in the lace braid. Now that all the hair over your ear is in the lace braid, you can braid the rest normally. Once you're done braiding, you can secure it with an elastic. And now we repeat the same thing on the other side. Once the braids are done, we're gonna take them in the back and pin them in place in a little V to get them ready to be laced up. And now it's time for the holo. And for this hairstyle, we're using the same tape-wrapped 10-foot long strands that we did for the ponytail. And now I folded it in half, and I'm gonna put the middle of it on top of my head and clip that in place. So we're gonna start on the first side, pierce through, and pull it tight. And now cross your string to the other side and pierce in place there. And from here, you wanna just keep ping-ponging from side to side until the braids touch. So here at the end, once the 2 braids touch, it's kind of a free-for-all. You can do whatever you want. I'm actually gonna take the needle off and then wrap figure 8s around the 2 braids that we have left. At the bottom, I think I'm just gonna kind of wrap it around like this, partially because I'm tired of doing the figure 8s. All right, I'm gonna stop here for now and just secure it with an elastic so nothing comes unraveled, and we're gonna do the other side. And as you do that, you're gonna look for the spaces in between where you went last time, and that way you'll create nice little X's. For the tail, I'm gonna go ahead and sew a couple figure 8s in there just to keep that theme going. And then I'm gonna switch back to wrapping. Once you're done, you can secure it with an elastic. And there you go, that is a corset braid with holo, which I think is a significant improvement on the corset braid. And there you go, that's our wearable holographic hairstyles. And I'm gonna say it, I think holo tinsel is better than glitter because it's just as shiny, it's just as mesmerizing, but it's not as messy, and it's new. I feel like we've done as much as we're gonna do with hair plus glitter, so I'm really excited to play around with hair tinsel some more and just figure out how many more shiny, shifting rainbow hairstyles I can do, because this, ladies and gentlemen, tip of the iceberg. And that's it for today's video. I hope that you enjoyed it. Don't forget to hit that like button if you did. It helps my videos out quite a bit. And if you're new here, please hit that subscribe button and join the Braidaholic family. And you know what? While you're at it, if you haven't already, you could click the little bell icon, because that way you'll definitely be notified every time I post a new video. And that is it for today. I'll see you in my next one. Well, bye. Now I'm just threading my end through a blunt, if I can get it in there. Now that the braids are in, it's time for holo. That was less dramatic than I thought it would be. I have to say my focused face is very derpy, so I always have to remind myself to like look somewhat pleasant while I'm doing these hairstyles.